Good evening, Belize. It's Monday and welcome to News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly and here's a look at what's making headlines tonight. Regional ties move into sharper focus as Guyanese President Irfaan Ali signs new agreements during his state visit and addresses a special sitting of the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the political debate heats up after the PUP Northern Caucus throws its full support behind VTL's proposed takeover of SpeedNet. We'll hear reactions from both sides of the aisle. Plus, unions are preparing for Wednesday protests as the Social Security Board weighs in on the controversial SpeedNet deal. Tragedy struck in Ladyville this morning with the death of a young laborer in a traffic crash. And in a separate case, a police officer is now before the courts on a murder charge. These stories and more in just 60 seconds. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome back. Belize and Guyana are moving closer on the regional stage as Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali touched down in Belize for a 3-day state visit. That visit officially got underway this morning with a special address to the National Assembly. President Ali's remarks set the tone for deeper cooperation between the two countries, paving the way for several memorandums of understanding covering key areas like education, tourism, agriculture, national security, and digital transformation. At a time when both nations are looking to expand economic opportunities and strengthen technological growth, the visit highlights a shared commitment to closer diplomacy, trade, and regional collaboration. News 5's Paul Lopez has more.
Guyana's President, Dr. Irfaan Ali, arrived in Belize on Sunday for a 3-day state visit and today marked the occasion with a special address to the National Assembly. In a wide-ranging, hour-long speech, he spoke on shared priorities, including agriculture, education, and territorial issues. Shortly after, Prime Minister John Briceño and his cabinet signed 5 memorandums of understanding aimed at strengthening cooperation between the two countries.
The several memorandums of understanding we will sign today covers diverse areas: education, tourism, digitization, and agriculture. They cover socio-economic and productive sectors of our countries. They provide solid basis for deeper collaboration in areas of mutual benefit. We offer our experience in tourism as you build your tourism product in the land of many waters. Our geographic similarities provide scope for knowledge sharing. Our expertise in agriculture will be made available and educational opportunities explored. Your experience in digitization will help us in our own efforts in this regard.
Prime Minister John Briceño and Guyana's President, Dr. Irfaan Ali, signed a joint statement reaffirming their commitment to stronger trade and investment ties, with Belize exporting $4 million worth of goods to Guyana in 2024 alone. The two countries also signed memorandums of understanding on education, expanding scholarships and exchanges, and on tourism, as Guyana looks to grow its tourism sector through increased promotion and investment.
Belize and Guyana are bound by more than diplomacy. We are united by a shared history of colonization, by common resolve in safeguarding our independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, and by aspirations rooted in dignity, stability, and progress. Belize and Guyana also share a strong and enduring commitment to democratic governance. Central to this commitment is the role of our representative parliaments. These institutions serve as the principal forums for democratic deliberation, accountability, and lawmaking.
Belize and Guyana also moved to strengthen regional security, with Defense Minister Florencio Marin and Guyana's Foreign Minister signing an agreement to cooperate against emerging threats and boost military capacity. The two countries also signed a deal on digital transformation and artificial intelligence, which Prime Minister John Briceño says will improve government efficiency and public services. Food security rounded out the day's discussions as another shared priority.
We share a history shaped by sugar. Fields were plowed and cane cut by indentured labor, and sugar exported to Europe by nationalists. As the industry evolved, it provided jobs, educated our children, earned foreign exchange, and drove the development of our colonial societies. But that was yesterday. Today, we will jointly facilitate private sector investment in the refined sugar sector.
My dear friend, I agree with you that Belize and Guyana must lead in the food security of this region. And when we make this investment, human, financial, and technological investment, the region must in turn have a fair trade system in which our produce and production is not subjected to the bureaucracy of the system, or is not subjected to artificial barriers of trade that affect this region. We must together champion the cause of removing the barriers to trade, especially in food in this region.
The joint sitting was attended by diplomats and private sector representatives. Opposition leader Tracy Panton pointed to areas of common ground between both countries.
We share common history, we share a common culture, we share hopefully common values. I know that the president is very big on democracy and preserving the rights and privileges and freedoms of citizens, the economic prosperity of his country. And I think that there is a lot that we can glean from his presentation today. I thought it was very inspiring, and hopefully our government took note.
The state visit continues through Wednesday with mutual agreements that will translate into long-term economic and social benefits for Belize and Guyana. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A major political endorsement is adding fuel to an already heated national debate. The Northern Caucus of the People's United Party has thrown its full support behind Belize Telemedia Limited's proposed takeover of SpeedNet, better known as SMART. The unanimous decision came out of a weekend meeting in Orange Walk, with area representatives from Corozal, Orange Walk, and Belize Rural South signaling their approval. On the surface, it may look like growing government backing for the deal, but not everyone in the party is on board. Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat has strongly criticized the move, calling the caucus vote political interference at a time when public protests and official deliberations are still underway. Today we asked him whether this endorsement undermines that process and what it means for unity within the PUP.
I was surprised of that release that came out. I saw it this morning. Why? Because in cabinet it was decided that there would be no political interference. So I am not in agreement with that, and if the Western Caucus decide it will be with Cayo South, not there, because we made an agreement that the political interference would not be a part of the decision making, and that I am totally disappointed with.
Do you think it compromises the ongoing deliberation, the independence of it?
Well, that's the reason why cabinet decided to stay away from it, and so yes, it does.
Some political observers have indicated that going or reaching for caucus support kind of reminds of G7. Back then, you were not involved at the time, but you today said if the Western Caucus is requested to put out a position, you will recuse yourself. It's kind of starting to sound desperate now.
I've said that because cabinet made a decision.
But these are the
cabinet sat with us and said, listen to me guys, this is not a political thing. So we want cabinet to stay out of it until all the necessary consultations, and then cabinet can give its point of view. And right after that happened, then a political arm made a decision. So we are left like in limbo. What's the decision? And that's what I have a concern with. And so if we made a conscientious decision that we would leave the politics out of it, then leave the politics out of it. That's why I said I wouldn't participate.
Another political voice is now weighing in, and it's a strong one. United Democratic Party leader Tracy Tager-Panton is also taking issue with the PUP Northern Caucus and its endorsement of the BTL SpeedNet acquisition. For weeks, Panton has been at the forefront of opposition to the proposed deal, including a high-profile demonstration held just last week outside BTL headquarters here in Belize City. The acquisition has drawn heavy criticism from the UDP, union leaders, and independent senators who argue the process lacks transparency. Now, with the PUP Northern Caucus publicly backing the move, Panton says the stakes are even higher, warning that what should be a national conversation is becoming increasingly politicized.
I think what is signal to me that there's serious internal conflict within the PUP for the Prime Minister to have to lean on his Northern Caucus to support this deal is clearly an indication of that. And yes, you answered yourself. It is politicizing of a national issue. I often said, and I said this morning on Channel 5, in fact, that we have a political prerogative. The opposition has a political prerogative, as does the government. But this issue is not a political issue. It is a national issue. When you attempt to burden the working class with an additional 100 million or more for an acquisition for which no valid information has been provided to the citizens who happen to be the owners of this public entity, then something is absolutely wrong.
Panton says the Northern Caucus endorsement signals deeper divisions within the PUP and warns that what should be a national discussion about transparency and cost is now being dangerously politicized. And while Minister Espat has made his opposition to the PUP Northern Caucus position clear, we also pressed him on another key issue: national consultations. Espat says he takes serious issue with the argument that the public does not need to be consulted simply because BTL is a private company, even with majority government ownership. He insists that Belizeans are the true owners of the company and, as such, deserve to be fully and meaningfully consulted before any decision is made.
Consultation is never enough. I think there's a misconception that you have these privately, publicly owned companies and they believe that they don't have to consult with the Belizean people. That I have a serious problem with. You either own it or you don't own it, and we own it. So if we own it, then you have to come to us to ask our opinion. And that's why Cabinet was reluctant in making a position, because it was waiting for all the consultations to happen, including with the media. The media is extremely important in this. The concern that the media has if you have a monopoly and it can affect them in the future is something that has to be addressed. And it has to be put in place before an agreement is done. It's just my point of view. And that we need competition, well, from the day I was born, that is what I believe in having competition. And the reason that you have two telecom companies is because the concept of competition was there from the beginning. So I have listened to what BTL has had to say, and as a company, any company wants a monopoly. Channel 7 would want it, Channel 5 would want it, Plus TV would want it. Everybody in the business community would love a monopoly, but that doesn't mean that it is in the best interest of the consumers, and that is where I believe we have to be looking at and considering.
You were present for the cabinet meeting when BTL. You didn't request that the Prime Minister step aside due to conflict of interest.
He proposed, and cabinet decided that it wasn't necessary.
Why?
That was a cabinet decision. Yes, I understand everybody's point of view, but the Prime Minister, in all due respect, said that if we would want, he would recuse himself. And the majority of cabinet decided that it wasn't necessary.
So where does Minister Julius Espat stand on the argument coming from within his own cabinet that the BTL Speednet merger won't create a monopoly? Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat has said there are more than 20 internet providers operating in Belize. But Espat doesn't agree. He says no matter how you look at it, the merger would still amount to a monopoly, and his position is clear. When it comes to protecting consumers, competition is always the better option.
Locally, yes. You can't run away from that concept. You're arguing two separate things. On the international level, you won't have a monopoly. But at a local level, you do. And you see, people have a concern. The media says, I am concerned because if you have government-dominated telecommunications, they can put a target on my shoulder and I won't be able to function. More or less, I understood that you guys were saying. That's a valid point. So we have to listen to that. And if it is done, then legislation has to be put in to ensure that that does not happen. The consumers are concerned. In the past, if BTL may give me a bad service, but the price may kind of, all right, I will consider for go to the guy who will give me a better service, but it's a bit more expensive or less expensive. You have the option. With what is happening, you won't have an option. And I believe that options are always positive. But it's just a personal opinion. It's how I look at things. Everybody has a different point of view, and that's why consultation is enough. If you speak to anybody from BTL, they are gung-ho and convinced that it's the best thing ever happened ever. Things toast bread. If you speak to people outside, they are worried. But everything in life that comes with change, people are worried. That's human nature.
Espat maintains that at the local level, the merger would still create a monopoly, warning that consumers could lose choice and stressing that open consultation is key before any final decision is made. Infrastructure Minister Julius Espat is also acknowledging the political stakes tied to the proposed BTL SpeedNet merger, saying the fallout could either work in the PUP's favor or seriously backfire. While some believe the issue could deepen divisions within the party, Espat stopped short of that assessment. Instead, he says getting it right on such a major national matter comes down to one thing: open and meaningful public consultation before any final decision is made.
You should be in cabinet one of these days, and then I would ask you. It's a difficult position to be put in. It's not easy for anybody. We have our opinions in cabinet that we share with the Prime Minister quite frankly, and those are cabinet discussions and decisions under under our laws that we should not be speaking publicly out here about what we say inside cabinet. But there is opposition to the concept, and BTL feels strongly that it is a good thing. So I think more consultation is required so that people are convinced either way. But just like this beautiful building that we see here, the design of it, not in its infrastructure, but the concept is to ventilate issues so that people can be aware. I think that's important. If you have a concern, then let's have more consultation. Let's sit with the people and convince them. When you get a presentation like the one we got, it's very positive. You look at all the positive aspects of it, but then you walk outside and you hear the noise and you say, but why are people clamoring if the concept is so good? Well, let's look at the other side. Let's listen to the other side, and that way people can be convinced. Politically, either way, we could come out of this in a positive way, or we could come out of this in a negative way. It is how you convince people. A politician wins by how does a politician win? By putting in the work and convincing people that his leadership and his ideas are positive, and therefore people will gain traction with that concept and come with you. But if the politician does not do that, then the opposite happens. And so we face that possibility.
Espat says how the BTL SpeedNet merger ultimately plays out, politically and nationally, depends on whether leaders take the time to fully consult the public and honestly address the concerns being raised. Coming up, 18-year-old motorist killed riding home from work. More when we return.
Belize City is growing because of continued investment. From rehabilitated streets to expanding neighborhoods, significant investments are improving how our city functions and how our communities live. In the last 2 years alone, more than 250 streets have been rehabilitated, representing almost $34 million invested directly in physical infrastructure that improves access and quality of life. At the same time, the city continues to expand. Developments such as the Holy Emmanuel area, also known as Gungulung, reflect increased demand for land and housing as Belize City expands in a more sustainable and resilient way. These planned developments support safer communities and long-term sustainability, contributing to rising property values across the city. Under the Town's Property Evaluation Act, property values are required to be reviewed every 5 years. The last valuation adjustment was done in 2013. This adjustment simply brings property values closer to today's market reality, while the tax rate itself remains unchanged. Let's break it down. For a vacant property valued at $25,000, we charged an annual 2% rate, which works out to a payment of $500. Under the new assessment, the property value has appreciated by 40%, making the property now worth $35,000. Therefore, the new amount to be paid will be 2% of $35,000, which works out to $700. For an occupied property valued at $25,000, we charged an annual 10% rate, which works out to $2,500. Under the new assessment, the property's value has appreciated by 18%, making the property now worth $29,500. Therefore, the new amount to be paid will be 10% of $29,500, which works out to $2,950. To support property owners, your Belize City Council is encouraging residents to take advantage of the ongoing property tax prepayment incentives. property owners receive 15% off in January, 10% off in February, and 5% in March. And senior citizens receive a 35% discount year-round. Remember, this adjustment represents an appreciation in your property's worth, not a change in tax rates, ensuring continued investment in your city while providing valuable data for informing investors, municipal bondholders, and individual credit assessments. And we want residents to know the law provides a clear mechanism for review and appeal if needed. Those who believe their valuation does not fairly reflect their property have the right to engage the Belize City Valuation Appeals Board. Your Belize City Council remains committed to openness, accountability, and ensuring that growth is managed fairly for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Child marriage, a global problem, but it's also a Belize problem. In 2024, Belize amended the Marriage Act. Legal marriage age, 18, no exceptions. Child marriage is now illegal in Belize. But early unions are still putting children at risk in many communities. What drives this? Poverty, limited access to education and health services, violence and unsafe homes, and harmful social norms that have gone unchallenged for too long. Many cases involve adolescent girls and older men, leading to teen pregnancy, school dropout, and limited opportunities. To protect our children and prevent early unions, everyone has a role to play. Share the facts about the law. Encourage teens to stay in school. Create safe spaces where young people feel supported. Support families facing violence or stress by helping them access services. Strengthen youth programs and parent support. Assist young people in getting access to the information, services, and support they need. Empower both girls and boys to understand their rights and make safe choices. When families, schools, churches, and communities work together, we can end early unions and protect every child's future. Know the law. Share this message. Support our children. End child marriage and early unions in Belize.
The Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit provides comprehensive information services to assist citizens in obtaining official documentation related to key life events. You can apply for birth, death, marriage, adoption, or deed poll certificates for records that have already been registered. You can also request tailored information extracts or certified copies of documents about specific life events. All Vital Statistics information services are available through the new Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS. You can complete all services online from the comfort of your own home, or if you prefer face-to-face interaction or need additional support, you can visit their nearest office to complete any service. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz today to access our services.
Cutting through the politics and posturing, here are some important facts and figures. When BTL was renationalized in 2009, the company was valued at $226 million, but Belizean taxpayers eventually paid $648 million for it. So what exactly did we pay for? In black and white, here's the breakdown. Dunkeld for shares acquired $354 million, almost half of which was interest resulting from government's refusal to settle promptly. BTL Employees Trust, $114 million, almost double the initial award due to interest and other costs. British Caribbean Bank Limited, $87 million, more than double the initial award due to interest. Government of Belize arbitration costs, $839,000. Government of Belize legal fees and costs, $13 million. Social Security loan acquired, $29 million. Government of Belize loan to Sunshine Holdings, $10 million. Taxes government failed to collect, $38 million. All for a grand total of $648 million. So we paid $422 million more than the real value, 3 times its true worth, not for the latest technology, because there was none, but simply for personal ego and legal misadventure. Let that sink in, Belize. Ignore the politics and posturing. Focus on the facts.
Tonight, a family is left shattered after a young life was cut short far too soon. 18-year-old Miguel Montoya was killed in a traffic collision this morning along the Philip Gosen Highway while on his way home from work. Police say Montoya, who was riding a motorcycle, collided with a towhead truck. The impact proved fatal. Now, his loved ones and members of the community are struggling to come to terms with the loss of a young man they say had his whole life ahead of him, and they are calling for answers and justice. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the details as this tragedy continues to ripple through the family and the wider community.
18-year-old Miguel Montoya was just a few minutes away from his home in Ladyville, where his father was waiting for him to return home from work. Montoya never made it home. Police say the 18-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a collision with a towhead truck this morning, according to Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacey Smith.
Police are investigating a fatal traffic accident that claimed the life of 18-year-old Luis Miguel Llewellyn Montoya, which occurred at approximately 9:30 a.m. on Monday, 2nd February 2026, between miles 10 and 11 on the Philip Gosen Highway.
Smith explains that Montoya was turning into his street at the time of the collision. Although he had been wearing a helmet, the impact was intense, and Montoya succumbed to his injuries on the scene.
What the investigation has shown so far is that Montoya is alleged to have been seeking to make a left turn off the highway, and at that time a freight truck which was traveling in the same direction sought to overtake the motorcycle, and this resulted in a collision and the untimely passing of Mr. Montoya. The driver of that vehicle has since been served with a notice of intended prosecution.
After hearing what had happened, Montoya's family quickly made their way to the scene. His uncle, Alberto Montoya, remains in a state of shock as they struggle to process the news.
When I get to know, my brother came to my house and tell me that his son dead out there, so drive for me, but I couldn't even drive. Yeah, so when we get here, we see the body down there on the cycle.
Montoya worked at a factory nearby and was on his way home when the collision occurred. His uncle remembers him as a good kid and says his death came far too early.
He's coming from work to home, and it looked like the truck would knock him. He was overtaking, knock him, and nearly knock other ladies who was standing up over there.
And did he die on impact at the scene?
Yeah, impact.
His family is reminding motorists to drive carefully on the highway. However, they believe more can be done to protect these riders. Montoya says the location of the incident is particularly dangerous and believes the government should construct a speed bump nearby.
It should, because other, like, we drive cars and then things in no respect cycles and just, overtake and knock them down and kill them.
Miguel Montoya lived between Orange Walk and Belize District, as he often traveled to spend time with both his parents.
The only thing we could have made one seat back, but we can't see him no more.
Police have not yet laid charges against the truck driver, but have issued him with a notice of intended prosecution. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Police are coming down hard following a deadly hit and run that claimed the life of a police officer in the south. 30-year-old Guatemalan cattle truck driver Juan Carlos Estrada Prado is facing multiple charges after police say he knocked Special Constable Marcos Acal off his motorcycle on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway Friday night and then drove off. Investigators say Constable Acal was struck just after 7:30 and was later found badly injured along the roadway. He was rushed to the Southern Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The truck driver and 2 passengers were eventually intercepted miles away. While Estrada Prado has been charged, questions remain about why the passengers have not. Today we asked Assistant Superintendent Stacey Smith why they, too, have not been held accountable for failing to report the incident.
Police have formally arrested and charged Juan Carlos Estrada Prado, a 30-year-old Guatemalan national of Santa Cruz Village, for the crimes of manslaughter by negligence and causing death by careless conduct, and the offenses of drove motor vehicle without due care and attention, failing to report an accident, and failing to stop and render aid. Whilst the investigators were processing the scene, intelligence was obtained in relation to a vehicle of interest that was seen in the Punta Gorda jurisdiction, and that information was relayed to police officers in Punta Gorda. The officers intercepted a Hino brand pickup truck at the dump in Punta Gorda, and on board that vehicle were Prado as well as 2 other male persons, and an inspection of that vehicle showed signs of damage and apparent blood.
Will the other occupants of the vehicle be charged as well?
Certainly, we have tasked the person responsible for the traffic section of the department to see what, if any, charges can be brought against the others, because as you would know, they were suspected to have been on board the vehicle at that time of the accident, and they in fact had a duty to report such accident.
Police say they're taking a firm stance after a hit and run on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway killed Special Constable Marcos Acal, with a Guatemalan truck driver now charged and investigators weighing possible action against the 2 passengers who were with him that night. Police have arrested and charged one of their own in a murder investigation that is now raising serious questions about crime, drugs, and accountability within the ranks. Police Constable Kenroy Allen is accused of killing Shaquem Ferguson, one of 2 men killed in a brazen Ladyville shooting on January 25th, where a 3rd man was seriously injured. Investigators have said the gun involved has been retrieved and tested, and authorities are now probing whether drug-related motives and linked homicides in the area are connected to this case. Allen wore his police-issued jacket when he was escorted to court today before Chief Magistrate Deborah Rogers. He was read a single charge of murder. No plea was taken, and he will be remanded at the Belize Central Prison until his next court appointment on May 15th. Key evidence in the case includes Allen's black Chevy Equinox, which was spotted at the scene of the murder, as well as a ballistic report which links his personal firearm to the murder. Investigators also retrieved clothing from Allen's home they believe he was wearing at the time of the shooting. Here's what police are saying about Ferguson and other murders in the Ladyville area.
As a consequence of the ongoing investigation into the shooting death of Shaquem Ferguson, which occurred on Sunday, January 25, 2026 in Ladyville Village, police have formally arrested and charged 24-year-old Kenroy Allen, a Belize police constable, for the crime of murder.
Police identified any motive for the murder?
No clear motive has been established. However, I believe on the last occasion when ACP Romero was addressing the matter, he would have stated that there is a suggestion that drugs may be the motive and it may be connected to the other incidents that occurred in that area.
Given that police have established that the murders of Mr. Ferguson and Elroy Bainton are linked, is Mr. Allen being looked as a suspect in that other murder as well?
I don't believe it has been established. There is a suggestion that is an area that is being explored, and certainly, as I've stated, these incidents, all 3, including that of Mr. Valero and that of Mr. Bainton and Ferguson, are being investigated to ascertain whether there's a nexus between these incidents.
Police in Ladyville are lining up a string of serious charges against a 29-year-old American military veteran after a domestic dispute spiraled into a gun showdown with officers. Investigators say Darnayne Garcia, already out on bail for allegedly trying to ship a cache of guns and ammo into Belize, opened fire when police responded to an early morning assault report. A joint operation by elite police units ended with Garcia in custody and the seizure of an AR-15, a 9mm handgun, and nearly 100 rounds of ammunition. Police say Garcia is unlicensed, prohibited from leaving the country, and now facing even more trouble as investigators detail what unfolded.
Whilst the police officers were transporting the female to the Ladyville police station, the mobile came under fire, and An operation was organized as a consequence of this, as there was reasons to believe that Mr. Garcia was the culprit in that incident. A joint operation team consisting of personnel from the GI3, the Anti-Narcotics Unit, as well as the Ladyville Quick Response Team, organized and mobilized to an area of interest, and through the use of a drone and conducting covert surveillance, they were able to apprehend Mr. Garcia sometime around 6 o'clock a.m. and in his possession was a 9mm Smith & Wesson brand pistol which contained 14 live rounds of 9mm ammunition, as well as a bag which contained an additional 60 live rounds of 9mm ammunition. Also found on the person of Mr. Garcia was an AR-15 rifle which contained 37 live rounds of 5.56 ammunition. Garcia is known to police as he is currently out on bail, having been charged in July of 2025 for illicit trafficking of firearm after a barrel was discovered at the Santa Elena border which contained a number of firearm and ammunition.
Police say the early morning response to a reported domestic assault quickly turned dangerous in Ladyville, ending with a 29-year-old American veteran already out on bail, now in custody, after officers came under fire and seized high-powered weapons and ammunition. Police say a quiet Friday morning in Ranchito Village quickly turned into a major drug bust. Officers executed a search warrant around 10 o'clock and arrested 38-year-old Sandra Araceli Pineda, who they say was caught with nearly 6 grams of crack cocaine and close to 18 grams of marijuana. Investigators say Pineda even tried to get rid of the drugs as police moved in. And here's what they're now revealing about what that raid and the charges she's facing.
The arrest of Pineda follows police's execution of a search warrant at her residence on Friday, 30th January 2026 at around 10 o'clock a.m. The arresting officer reported that upon entering the premises while simultaneously advising the occupants that it was the police and that they were there to execute a search warrant, she observed Pineda picked up a transparent plastic bag and ran through the house. Pineda was pursued and she was observed throwing the plastic bag, and when it was opened and inspected, it was found to contain several pieces of suspected crack cocaine totaling 5.8 grams. A search of Pineda resulted in the discovery of the additional 17.8 grams of cannabis.
Police say that raid ended with a chase through the house and drugs tossed aside as 38-year-old Sandra Araceli Pineda was arrested and charged after officers say they caught her trying to dump crack cocaine and marijuana during the search. Police say a suspected drug habit may have pushed a Chan Chen resident into a crime spree that's now landed him behind bars. 26-year-old Dennis Eck is facing 2 burglary charges and a drug possession charge after investigators linked him to a break-in where $750 was stolen from a Corzall home, and a far more frightening incident where a young girl came face-to-face with an intruder inside her bedroom. Police say Eck was later tracked down, detained, and found with a small amount of crack cocaine. Here's more from Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith.
The burglary charges, which occurred in separate incidents, it is in relation to reports made by 2 individuals that between 31st January and 1st February, Mr. Eck is reported to have entered these separate residences through the window of the house, and on one occasion he stole a container which contained $750, and in the other instance he was observed in that home without a shirt. When observed, he ran off and made good his escape. Based on the investigation carried out by the police officers, Mr. Eck was identified as a person of interest, and when he was sought at his residence and searched in his pocket, police found the 0.13 grams of suspected crack cocaine.
Police say 2 late-night break-ins, including a terrifying encounter with an intruder inside a young girl's bedroom, have landed 26-year-old Dennis Eck in custody, now facing burglary and drug charges. After the break, NTUCB slams silence on SpeedNet deal. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
The Belize Tax Service has been serving the country well since its inception. But like many tax administration systems worldwide, it faces new challenges that require modern solutions. The Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA, will be established by legislation that will modernize how Belize administers taxes. Countries across our region, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, have undertaken similar efforts at modernization, and we're using their experiences, successes, and challenges to design a SARA specific to our tax landscape. SARA will operate under the Ministry of Finance with an advisory board comprised of experts in finance, tax, law, and public administration who will provide sound guidance while maintaining the required oversight of public funds. SARA will provide the framework for modernizing tax administration, improving the way we serve taxpayers, and supporting Belize's development. A semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, will create opportunities for improving human resource management, accelerating digital transformation that reduces turnaround time and paperwork, and providing more responsive customer service while maintaining strict accountability standards. SARA, a progressive tax administration for a modern Belize.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
I crossed borders in Central America, searching for the stories behind the places we think we know. I'm Sabrina Daly, traveling as a Belizean, curious about the culture, the people, and the experiences that make each destination stand out. From the spirited landscapes of Honduras to the evolving heartbeat of El Salvador.
Go pupusas!
This journey explores what it really feels like to travel our region. This is Across Borders.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Clean and maintain your yard the best way with Honda trimmers and lawn mowers. Honda Lawn and Garden Equipment. Available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tensions are mounting ahead of a planned protest this Wednesday in Belize City, as both the National Trade Union Congress of Belize and the United Democratic Party prepare to demonstrate in front of the Social Security Board's headquarters. In a sharply worded release, the NTUCB is taking aim at the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet, warning that the deal lacks transparency and accountability. The union accuses the Social Security Board of what it calls a deafening silence as a transaction of major national and economic importance moves forward. The union notes that SSB already owns more than 34% shares in BTL, giving it a clear legal obligation to protect workers' contributions. Yet, according to the NTUCB, there has been no meaningful disclosure or consultations with contributors whose money is at stake. While the union has not officially demanded the resignation of SSB board chairman Chandra Nisbet Cancino, News 5 understands that hardliners within the labor movement have repeatedly called for her to step aside. Their criticism centers on her decision to resign from BTL's board of directors ahead of a critical meeting on the acquisition, a move some describes as an abdication of duty at a pivotal moment. The NTUCB is now demanding that SSB publicly oppose the acquisition until full due diligence is completed and contributors' concerns are addressed. The protest is expected to draw additional support, with the Belize Communications Workers for Justice also planning to participate. News 5 further understands that the 4 social partner senators may use Wednesday to take a forceful public stance on the issue. The United Democratic Party had planned to stage a second protest against the proposed BTL SpeedNet acquisition to coincide with today's opening of the new parliamentary session. But party leader Tracy Panton says police denied the permit. The UDP has since been approved to demonstrate outside the Social Security Board headquarters on Wednesday, the same day the National Trade Union Congress of Belize is also scheduled to protest at that location.
There is a permit for Wednesday. We are calling on all Belizeans to join us on Wednesday at 10 o'clock as we meet outside the Social Security Board. The board is meeting at 11, we understand. And of course, we look forward to having the support and inclusion of our union partners and all members of civil society.
But was the initial plan to protest today?
We had hoped to protest today. The permit was denied, even though the Prime Minister speaks very boldly about the rights of citizens should be preserved and we have the right to protest. Obviously, he would have preferred the protest not to happen today. They used a technicality in the law to deny us the permit, but that will not keep us quiet. We will be sure that our voices are heard at every occasion that we have.
When asked if she expects any charges to stem from last week's unrest on BTL's compound, Panton said no, but if they come, then the party is prepared to deal with them. There's been a lot of talk about today's protests, permits, and police preparedness, and we went straight to the top 4 answers. Compal Rosado is pushing back against claims that the Belize Police Department denied the UDP's application to protest in front of the National Assembly building today. While discussing that issue, we also asked the Commissioner another question many people have been wondering about. Will police increase their presence at Wednesday's planned protest, especially after what unfolded during last week's demonstration outside BTL's headquarters? The Commissioner addressed both concerns, and here's what he had to say.
First of all, the police department do recognize the right of individual or group to protest, but they must do so within the context of the law. In terms of the one last week, I believe that we have a level of escalation in terms of our police response. And during the protests, it did not reach the level that we needed to escalate. So we do believe that it went at a manageable level that the uniformed personnel could have managed.
However, the protesters broke through whatever barricade you all set. It seemed as if you all were outnumbered and outmanned.
In terms of public order, in terms of public demonstration, we have a protocol in place, and for us to escalate, certain things should have happened, or in order for us to escalate to the other stage.
Were you prepared for any, I know that a permit to protest was rejected for today, but were you prepared for anything just in case?
Let me correct that.
Okay.
I was briefed, an application was received to protest on Friday afternoon. The application did not state the date. The commanding officer then informed the person who brought the application that a date need to be stated. That individual then said that he will consult with his party hierarchy. He then subsequently submitted an application for Wednesday. That application, the approval was given. But to say that otherwise, it's totally untrue.
That's from the United Democratic Party?
Yes, from the opposition, yes.
And they were planning to protest here at this location?
Like I said, they did submit an application on Friday, as I was briefed, but the application did not state the date. And they were advised that they must state the date within the application. The individual then informed the commander that he will consult his party hierarchy and return back to us. A subsequent application was submitted and the date was specified for Wednesday, for which an approval was given.
2 weeks ago, we told you about a meeting that usually draws close public attention. But this time, something was different. The Belize Police Department held its annual CompStat meeting in Belmopan, and for the first time, the media was not invited. That meant no questions, no clarifications, and no opportunity for the public to see how crime data is being assessed and explained. Today, we finally got a chance to ask Commissioner of Police Dr. Richard Rosado why the press was left out. His response? Police were trying something different. And he says the decision on whether independent media houses should be invited was left to the government press office. So, does closing the door on the media limit transparency, or is this simply a change in approach? We asked the questions many people at home have been wondering about, and we'll share what the commissioner had to say.
I think it's a misstatement for the media to say that they have been invited for the past few years. The media have never been invited for the CompStat meeting. They are invited after the meeting to ask questions, but they have never been invited to the CompStat meeting. This is the first time that we invited the press office to join us during the opening session. But to say that the media has been invited for the past few years, it's a statement from the media houses.
Sir, but that's semantics. Why weren't we invited to ask questions?
This year we wanted to try something new, and this year we wanted to see whether we should invite or should not. And then I had left it up to our press office, and we decided to. But I have no objection to continue with inviting the media after for questions. That I have no objection with that.
Sir, should a decision like that be left willy-nilly? This is an important aspect for public transparency, that we are there to ask the questions.
Like I said, this year we wanted to try something new, and for the media to say that they have been invited for years, it's a misstatement. It's being disingenuous because they have never been invited to the CompStat meeting. They have been invited after the meeting to ask questions. And I have no objection or no reservation in inviting them after the meeting for them to ask questions.
So will we be invited next year?
I have no objection. If the media want to attend after the CompStat, no objections.
When we return, students march to a brighter rhythm at St. Martin de Porres.
My name is Carlton Jack Young, and I've been fishing in these waters for over 40 years. I used to work fishing when I was about 15 years old. I was the #1 fisherman for the Coop for many years. I was a member of the Fishery Advisory Board, who makes decisions on these fishing areas.
Fishermen like Jack Young can tell you about a time when it seemed Belize's bounty was never ending.
And when we get alongside the boat and we check, we had 100 mutton snappers.
But he can also tell you about the alarming differences in the number of available reef fish, such as the Nassau grouper, from then to now.
The fishermen, they go out there and they sit there for hours before they could catch some of them. They are not there like they used to.
Nassau groupers reproduce between the months of December and March. To ensure a good catch the following season, fishing of Nassau groupers is closed during the spawning season and carefully regulated the rest of the year. During the open fishing season, Nassau groupers must be landed whole and may not be less than 20 inches or greater than 30 inches. In Belize, there are 13 spawning aggregation sites where Nassau groupers and other reef fish are protected. These are Rocky Point, Monger Key, Dog Flea, Key Buckell, Northern Two Key, Sandbore, South Point, Key Glory or Emily, Northeast Point, Gladden Spit, Nicholas Key, Seal Key, and Rise and Fall Bank. Consumers have a part to play as well. By declining to purchase the critically endangered Nassau grouper, especially non-regulation size, you help ensure populations have a chance to restock. By adhering to regulations and protecting spawning sites, we can support fish stock replenishment and the livelihoods of future fishermen.
If they do it the right way, we might have it for a little longer. But if they don't do proper control, we'll lose it entirely.
All right, you're all set. I'll swap out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easy for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Mama's me, my data and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Cutting through the politics and posturing, here are some important facts and figures. When BTL was renationalized in 2009, the company was valued at $226 million, but Belizean taxpayers eventually paid $648 million for it. So what exactly did we pay for? In black and white, here's the breakdown. Dunkeld for shares acquired $354 million, almost half of which was interest resulting from government's refusal to settle promptly. BTL Employees Trust, $114 million, almost double the initial award due to interest and other costs. British Caribbean Bank Limited, $87 million, more than double the initial award due to interest. Government of Belize arbitration costs, $839,000. Government of Belize legal fees and costs, $13 million. Social Security loan acquired, $29 million. Government of Belize loan to Sunshine Holdings, $10 million. Taxes government failed to collect, $38 million. All for a grand total of $648 million. So we paid $422 million more than the real value, 3 times its true worth, not for the latest technology, because there was none, but simply for personal ego and legal misadventure. Let that sink in, Belize. Ignore the politics and posturing. Focus on the facts.
A brand new beat is filling the halls at St. Martin de Porres Primary School, and it's one the students won't forget anytime soon. Thanks to a generous donation from the Fort George Hotel and Spa, the school now has a set of marching drums, opening the door to its very first marching band. The handover comes as the hotel celebrates its second anniversary, turning the moment into a special double celebration, one that students marked with pride through a ceremony led by the kids themselves. Smiles were wide, excitement was high, and for many students, this donation represents a chance to discover new talent, discipline, and teamwork through music. News 5's Brittany Gordon was at the school today, taking in the rhythm, the celebration, and the joy, bringing us the story of how a simple set of drums is striking a powerful chord in this school community.
Swift Hall was alive with the sounds of drum this morning as students of St. Martin de Porres Primary School celebrated a brand new donation from the Fort George Hotel and Spa. The drums arrived after the school reached out for support, answering a need Principal Roxana Encalada says she saw on campus for something fun, engaging, and unifying. Today that vision came to life as students beat out more than just rhythms, but a new sense of pride and possibility.
We have a number of students that love the drum. So what we find out during break or during lunch break, they will just be knocking and knocking and knocking all around the school compound. So we said maybe, you know, if we reach out to people and ask for some donations for drums, they're going to be excited to put that skill into practice. And that is the reason that we decided to choose drumming.
The donation has been in the pipeline since 2025, but was finally realized around the time of the hotel's second anniversary. General Manager Edison Trapp says the hotel didn't hesitate to get on board as the initiative fits squarely with its mission to support Belizean youth and culture.
The school and us felt that it's more than the instruments. It's giving the kids them an avenue to look at discipline, look at structure, look at teamwork, and also from my recollection, this is the first opportunity St. Martin School have in terms of a marching band.
8 new drums and cymbals were donated today, and students couldn't wait to put them to use. 12-year-old Lamar Flowers was among the performers, proudly showing his appreciation for the new instruments.
My school has never gotten a donation like this before, so I feel very happy that my school got a donation like this, and so I can play drums with my friends and have a lot of fun.
Why do you like playing drums?
Because it takes out my emotions.
Lamar has been playing the bass drums for nearly 6 years and is ready to make some serious noise with his friends in the school band.
I don't really remember, but it was a long time ago, and I played the bass drum and I really liked it, so I just kept on playing it and kept on playing it.
You don't find it too heavy for you?
No, that's very light.
Trapp notes the talent is evident and says the hotel is keen to continue partnering with the school to help develop it.
When it was first delivered, the excitement, I was pretty much impressed with what I saw, the drummers coming in, just doing a small tune. I was really impressed with that because the delivery was done last week. And so for them to quickly address that situation, it was really impressive for me. Notwithstanding, we are also looking to have a person to come in and teach the kids.
The marching band has not been officially formed yet. However, according to Encalada, the interest from students is overwhelming.
The interest has been overwhelming, and my concern right now is where will I get more drums, because we receive an amount today, but we have a lot of students being interested, and to me that is what brings the joy in my heart, that they have the interest, they want to be part of this band, and they want to create a change for their school, and for me that is priceless.
With enough support, St. Martin de Porres plans to expand the band to other instruments and introduce minarets. As for now, students are being mentored by a St. Martin de Porres alum. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
In late January, the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Richard Rosado, reportedly refused to swear in Constable Kenrick Ball as a member of the Police Association over his hairstyle. Ball is the first male police officer allowed to wear dreadlocks while on duty. But Compal Rosado has warned him that the hair must go. It's a controversial issue that has been ventilated before in court in 2019. Today, Compal Rosado told reporters that he has forwarded the issue to the Office of the Attorney General for deliberation.
All I will say is, as a department, we take the policy compliance seriously and policy implementation seriously. And in terms of that individual, we have forwarded to the AG Ministry for his advice, and we are waiting his advice.
How much do you rely on previous cases, the one with the officers?
Like I mentioned, we have forwarded it to the AG Ministry for his advice, and we will wait his advice.
We're following up tonight on a problem hitting cane farmers right as the sugar crop gets underway. On Friday, we told you that farmers are already running into serious trouble. Roads so bad, they can't even get their cane to the factory. According to Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association Chairperson Salvador Martin, the conditions are costing farmers time and money. So today, we took those concerns straight to the Minister of Infrastructure, Development and Housing, Julius Espat. His ministry has an annual budget of $1.5 million to fix sugar roads, but as he tells us, that money simply isn't enough.
There's not enough budget for the sugar roads. We know that. We have a very limited budget, and we go in when it's necessary. We're in there right now working as best as we can. We need to be able to get a little bit more budget to deal with the sugar roads, to be honest with you. You could have 1 million committees, but if you don't have the budget, then it makes no difference. So I think the Ministry of Finance has to decide if they will increase the allocation to the sugar roads.
The upgrade has been left solely to the ministry?
We have a $1.5 million to deal with all the sugar roads on a yearly basis, which is absolutely nothing. And we have been lobbying with the Ministry of Finance to increase that. Hopefully they listen and they put in a little bit more for that.
And as the minister made clear, without a bigger allocation from the Ministry of Finance, farmers may continue battling impassable sugar roads because, as he puts it, no amount of committees can fix roads without the money to do it. Up next, powerful kicks dominate this week's Sports Monday.
That's me. My data and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Start your day the right way with your Morning Boost. Get moving with energizing workouts, refreshing yoga sessions, and easy tips to keep your mind and body in balance. From fitness to personal growth and positivity, we're here to kickstart your mornings with motivation that lasts all day. Wake up to wellness. Your Morning Boost, every day at 6 a.m.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easy for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights, distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Cada conexión es más que solo una señal, es un estudiante abriendo las puertas a su futuro a través de la educación digital. Una mente joven atreviéndose a soñar en grande. Nuestra cultura compartida con el mundo en tiempo real. Y héroes cotidianos respondiendo al llamado del deber cívico. Cuando nos conectamos con Digi, empoderamos a Belice.
Good evening, Belizeans at home and abroad. This week we're highlighting athletes who are kicking legs, kicking face, and kicking footballs in an exciting edition of Sports Monday. Let's kick things off with mixed martial arts. Belize City was on fire Saturday night as Pro FC 20 delivered high-octane action at the Lord Ashcroft Center, with local fighters stepping up on a stacked fight card. The spotlight belonged to young Belizean phenom Jalen Perez, the self-styled Belizean prodigy who stole the show in the main event. Perez defeated Guatemalan Sergio Vicente by armbar submission, improving his professional record to 2-0 and cementing his status as one of Belize's rising MMA stars.
I saw when you were giving him those leg kicks, it seemed to bother him. What did you notice from the leg kick?
I seen him giving me big facial reactions, wincing, giving me the obvious tell that he couldn't take him, and well, if you can't take him, I'll give it to you. And that helped me set up the rest of my game plan. Had him biting on my feints, and I was able to implement my game plan.
What's next for you?
I'll keep representing Belize always. If it's outside, going to take somebody's belt to put Belize on the map, that's what we're going to do. But I'll keep representing Belize, and I'll show everybody that this is the new sport, this is the new mainstream sport, and there's so much untapped talent in mixed martial arts in Belize.
The night also featured gritty performances across the card. Even though he was too worn out to stand after his second professional bout, young Belizean Dominique Bieno stayed perfect, winning by unanimous decision over Guatemalan Emilio Chacon to move his record to 2-0. In the amateur fights on the early card, Belizean fighter Josue Gonzalez went the distance, earning a unanimous decision after 3 rounds in a hard-fought battle against his Mexican opponent Emilio Cortez. Eric Lopez needed little time, closing the show early with a first-round guillotine submission over Belizean fighter Danny Martinez. And fans were treated to a thriller as 2 brave Mexican warriors Michel Cortez and Miroslavia Kavic took as many shots as they gave in what organizers dubbed the fight of the night, showcasing heart, endurance, and technical skill. In the end, Cortez picked up a unanimous decision win over Kavic, 29-28 on each judge's scorecard. From dominant submissions to all-out wars, Pro FC 20 proved once again that Belize's MMA scene is growing fast and the future looks explosive. Pro FC 21 is scheduled for March 28 in San Ignacio. Moving on to the beautiful game. The future of women's football was on full display Saturday at Berger Field, as Royal Fusion and Elite FC went head-to-head in the Belize District Under-15 Girls Championship. It was a tense opening half, with both teams trading chances and strong defensive play keeping the scoreboard blank. After 20 minutes of football, it was 0-0 and the championship was still wide open to grab. But Royal Fusion wasted no time after the break. Crystal Rowley ignited the crowd in the 21st minute, breaking the deadlock with a well-taken goal that gave Fusion the early edge. Just 2 minutes later, momentum swung hard. Jocelyn Zuniga doubled the advantage in the 23rd minute, putting Royal Fusion firmly in control and Elite FC on their back foot. But Elite FC refused to fold. In the 30th minute, Aisha Reyes pulled one back, sparking hopes of a comeback and setting up a dramatic finish. The final minutes and stoppage time saw Elite FC throw everything forward, pressing relentlessly for the equalizer. But Royal Fusion's defense stood tall, shutting the door when it mattered most. At the final whistle, Royal Fusion are the opening season Belize District Under-15 Girls Champions, a statement win for a young team with a very bright future. Congratulations also to Elite FC for finishing second in their first time participating in the U15 tournament. Well, that's all we have for you on this week's edition, folks. Be sure to tune in next week for highlights from different sporting disciplines. Until then, remember that friendly competition unites and balling is life. So, keep balling, Belize.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, 18-year-old motorist killed riding home from work. John commented, "When you drive, you have to drive for yourself and the people on the road. Stay attentive and follow the road rules." On the topic, Belize-Guyana relations strengthened with new agreements. Assad Kevin Gittins shared, "As a Guyanese, I am happy and proud to hear my president Irfan Ali speak. He is a great leader. Great work as always." And finally, on Ranchito woman charged for crack and weed trafficking, Hilario No commented, "Yes, people have to survive, but not in this manner. There are many other ways you can make a living." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.